Nick Wright, co-host, First Things First. So here's something we'll agree on. Dynasties usually, they're like the Spurs. They kind of whimper out. You respect them, but you don't fear them. And I think Duncan, Brady, Spurs, Patriots, it's over. I'm okay with that. Although I do think they beat Tennessee because they're crazy town. Nobody trusts Tennessee. Is that a fair way to look at the Patriots dynasty this morning? Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year to you as well. And that is a very fair way to look at the Patriots dynasty. But I do find it very interesting. I mean, I hope you have not dislocated your shoulder from a moment ago, patting yourself on the back for being so correct on the Browns, which you were right about. I just wish you could have joined me in calling this Patriot thing 3 months ago when you were still holding on hope. You needed to see them lose to the Dolphins the way I needed to see Baker throw 21 interceptions. That's fine. But let's just follow a different path for a moment on the Patriots, because then I think more people would believe what you begrudgingly believe and I've believed all year, which is it is over for them. And let's just for a moment pretend Dee Ford was not 2 inches offsides last year in the AFC Championship game. Then the storyline for Brady and the Pats would have gone as follows, and it would have made so much more sense. Down 28-3 in the Super Bowl, greatest comeback ever. Brady gets his 5th ring and breaks Montana's record. The following year, Brady's still awesome, wins league MVP, but the team is this close to a Super Bowl. Loses it on Brady's fumble. Doesn't get it. The next year, you get beaten in the AFC Championship game because you're a little bit worse. That's on Brady's what would have been his 3rd pick of the game, by the way. And then this year, you're a shell of what you once were. You don't get a bye. It's the worst season you've had in a decade. That's how we're used to having a dynasty end.
Right.
The problem is last year when it should have ended, they won the damn Super Bowl anyway, so everyone's terrified of saying it's over for them. But it's over for them. It's clearly over for them, and I agree with you. I don't think they're going to lose to Tennessee either. And I'm going to say it again. I'm going to be furious if they lose to Tennessee, because that will deprive my hometown Kansas City Chiefs of their rightful opportunity to be the team that ends it officially. So go beat the Titans, Patriots, then come to Kansas City and get your heads handed to you the way it's supposed to go so I can sleep for the first time in a year. Go ahead.
Fair enough. I said I've been a little more of a Dak Prescott fan than you. I think that's fair to say, but I do think there's a ceiling. Yep. I just love all the intangibles, and I think those matter a ton. By the way, Trubisky has intangibles, but I think Dak's a better thrower of the football than Mitch Trubisky, so I'm for him and not for Mitch. I think only 2 things make sense for the Cowboys. You got to sign a coach that makes the $35 million of Dak worth it. And there's 2 guys that have had Dak like players, Urban and Lincoln Riley. And they have taken guys who are Tebow, Jalen Hurts, not great throwers, and they've made them into unbelievable players. I think Urban and Lincoln Riley are the only 2 choices for Dallas. What say you?
I think it's a really interesting way to look at it. My problem and my concern would be what Urban and Lincoln Riley were able to do is surround those players who were great collegiate players with a bunch of 5 stars. And obviously you can't do that in the NFL because of the salary cap. And $35 million a year means you have to be the additive value of 3 Pro Bowl level players, because $12 million a year gets you a Pro Bowl offensive lineman as long as it's not a tackle, gets you a Pro Bowl corner, gets you a Pro Bowl wide receiver, whatever you want other than quarterback. So that's what you are losing. And to me, it's not that complicated on the quarterback stuff. And that is, the moment they sign the deal, does anyone think it's an overpay? And if the answer is yes, then it is. The moment Aaron Rodgers signed his deal, did anyone think it's an overpay? No. When Russell Wilson signed his, no. Drew Brees signed his, no. When Patrick Mahomes gets $200 million total in a few months, will anyone think it's an overpay? No. But when Cam got his, and I love Cam, did some people think it was an overpay? Yes. Matt Ryan, yes. Dalton, yes. Tannehill, yes. Stafford, yes. If anyone thinks it's too much, it's too much. You either know it, it's either immediately right or it's not, and this has just been what history's proven out. When Dak gets his deal, there's going to be some people that say, it's too much. You know what? Then it's going to be too much, and it's going to be very, very difficult, no matter who the coach is, to win that way.
Nick Wright, co-host First Things First. Yesterday I was reading a terrific reporter, Charles Robinson of Yahoo Sports, and he was detailing sort of the Rubik's Cube of the Cleveland Browns front office search, and it was dizzying. I couldn't. I mean, I'm reading this stuff and I'm thinking this is not a well-run corporation. I'm hearing Urban. I'm hearing Josh McDaniel. I'm hearing all these names. This is not just about saving the Browns. It's saving Baker Mayfield. I mean, that's what it's really doing. This is a massive hire for Cleveland. Is there anybody that works?
Well, and the problem is at this point, when you say it's a massive hire, which position we talking about, GM or head coach? Because they're both vacant. I know Paul DePodesta looks like he's stepping into the GM void. I want to talk about the GM thing just for a moment because I think it's really important for Baker. Baker lost his rabbi in the organization in John Dorsey. Baker now is facing the fork in the road moment of his career. If he's bad in year 3, the power structure there will have no loyalty to him. Won't be a head coach who he helped get the job, and it won't be a GM who spent the #1 overall pick on him. So that's obviously critical. And how does Baker have a good year 3? Head coach has to be an enormous part of it. Where you have been unquestionably correct on. We'll see if you end up being right that Baker's talent is not enough to overcome it. Right now you appear to be. But where you are already correct on, you have won the argument, is that Baker does not have the emotional maturity requisite to be the face of a franchise. So what you can't just say, learn to be that. You have to remove that responsibility from him.
Yes.
I think Lamar has the emotional maturity, but he's not asked to be. John Harbaugh is the face of that organization. My guy, Patrick Mahomes, I think he could be, but Andy Reid is the face of that organization. When Russell Wilson was learning, even though he's special, Pete Carroll was the voice and the face of that organization. So you must bring in someone who has the presence of personality, if you will, to where Baker's not the most powerful personality in the organization. Just go play quarterback because that's something that you struggled with mightily on its own this year. That's the only way this thing gets fixed. The other problem for the Browns is this. Jimmy Haslam bought them in 2012. After this offseason, they will be on their 6th GM, their 6th head coach, and their 13th starting quarterback since Jimmy Haslam bought the team in 2012.
Wow.
That is 6 plus 6. 25 different head coach, quarterback, general managers since Obama's second term to now. That is no way to effectively run anything. And so everyone's fighting uphill there. The only solution might be for Paul DePodesta to hire you, Colin, because I think ultimately that would humble Baker more than anything. But I don't think they can afford you.
Oh, stop. Finally, listen, I don't mean to be an antagonist, but I have to bring up that the Clippers beat the Lakers again in the regular season. And I've said, I think the Lakers are built to be better in the regular season, but man, I like the Clippers taking time off for the postseason. But the Clippers beat the Lakers again in the regular season. Was this difficult for you, knowing your affection and affinity for LeBron?
Well, by the way, it's a few days old, but I'm not sure if you did it. Before I answer the question, I would like to give you the opportunity to have wished LeBron and Tiger Woods, the two greatest athletes of the last 30 years, happy birthdays. They both had their birthday on December 30th. I don't know why that's not a national holiday at this point. You have Tiger and LeBron. It's their birthdays. I mean, we get the President's Days off. We can't have the King and the GOAT Day off, but regardless, to answer your question, no, it's not difficult for me. I know you live in L.A. I assume they still have sports sections out there, L.A. Times, great newspaper, where you can check the NBA standings. Because as I've been trying to tell you all year, you can talk about how the Clippers are built for the postseason, Lakers regular. The Lakers are still the 1 seed with a nice cushion. And I don't know if you've seen the 8 seed in the West as of late, but it's a team that, what is it right now? Is it Portland or did they fall out of it? It's a team that's 3 games below 500. If you get the 1 seed in the West this year, you essentially get a bye in the first round. Meanwhile, the Clippers, a team that desperately needs rest and recuperation, would prefer to play basketball on a football schedule. 1 game a week will do. They are in that muck where you are going to either play the Jazz or the Mavericks or the Rockets or the Nuggets in the first round of the playoffs.
Good point.
A 2-week war. And then another 2-week war against another one of those teams, while the Lakers are just skidding above the fray. Right now, looking like you from your ski boat in Utah, like, oh, looks dangerous down there, not going there. and then, if the Clippers get there, the Lakers will actually have been effectively rested in the most critical time, and the Clippers will not. With all that said, the Lakers can't beat the Clippers if LeBron plays poorly. He played poorly on Christmas. He played poorly the first game of the year. I do not think he will play poorly 4 times in 7 games in the playoffs, considering he's averaging 4 bad playoff games every 4 seasons over the last 15 years. So I'll take my chances with it.
Well, it's well thought out. He's given that some great thought, and I always appreciate it.
I'm right on this one.
Okay.
Where Nick was right, the Lakers and betting on LeBron. We'll find out soon.
My friend, my dear friend, the talented Nick Wright, Happy New Year to you and your amazing family.
Happy New Year to you guys as well. Happy New Year, Joey. Talk to you guys soon.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.